Internet, my name is Gummy Jelly. I wanted to share with you how I made my VTuber model for practically free. That's right. No money. Zero. Well, sort of. Let's get into it. First things first, you need an idea or concept for what you want to look like. I knew I wanted a cute type model based on a purple striped jellyfish, so I started there. I suggest making a mood board with the colors and aesthetics you're going for. I did that here and I ended up using almost none of it. The more details you have in your head, the faster this'll go.
Do as I say, not as I do.
The programs I used were Clip Studio Paint, Live 2D Cubism, and Vtube Studio. For hardware, I already owned a $30-ish Huion drawing tablet I bought a few years back. And well, the whole process needs a computer, so I guess it's not $0, but I'm assuming you have at least some of this hardware. To start drawing, you'll need an art program, then export your art as a .psd file format. I use Clip Studio Paint since I got it for Christmas. I believe Procreate works just as fine as well, but I've never used it, so I can't speak on that. There are many free drawing programs too, like Metabang or Ibis Paint. I've also dabbled in Paint Tool Sai many years ago, and that was a beginner-friendly program as well. As long as they can export as a .psd, it'll be fine. It helps if you know how to draw, but that's not really necessary. I personally don't know how to draw humanoids at all. All my drawing backgrounds were in still life and landscape from middle and high school art classes, so if I can do it, I trust you can do it too. I didn't film my drawing process because trust me, you don't want to see how inefficiently I draw. But I'll flip through some work in progress images I exported along the way. I had to draw and redraw a lot of things as I didn't know exactly what I wanted. Here's my first concept. Very different. The proportions were weird and everything looked off, and I had to redraw a lot of things because I wasn't sure what vibe I was going for until much later, which is why I said it's faster if you had a clearer idea of what you wanted. I had a dress at a certain point, which wasn't the right vibes. I had deep colored backgrounds behind my drawing as I went, so I can tell if something wasn't colored in 100% or if there's drawing dust around. And here is the final. Yeah, a long way from the sketch concept now. The design is also indicative of what I don't know how to draw. For example, I'm still having trouble figuring out how to draw regular hair, so I made it jelly hair. I'm not good at using gray tones either, so the secondary colors became more pink than white. I mean, all designs are completely intentional and, very planned by me. I look exactly like I wanted to. The model also needs to be cut into a bajillion pieces too. I started cutting up the model as I was drawing it since I found it works for me, but some people do it after everything is done. Please, 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 name your layers, and also put them into folders and name the folders too. This will help you a lot while rigging. When cutting, keep in mind how you want your model to move. I won't go into detail on the places to cut in this video, but if anyone really wants me to go into detail, I can make a separate video about it, or you can ask specific questions in the comments below. There are definitely separations and cuts I was too lazy to do on my model that I wish I had done given more time. It took me about 4.5 months to finish this part, by the way. Feel free not to spend so long. I just really didn't know how to draw. The next step is to use Live 2D Cubism to start rigging your model. There's a 42-day trial of the Pro version that you could download to get started. There's also a free version with many limitations, but I was determined to get my model done with the Pro version within that 42 days. I prepared by watching almost every basic tutorial on YouTube over and over again to get my head around the program without having it on hand first. Special thanks to Yoshino Art and Chibuko for their tutorial playlists. Links to them and other resources I referenced will be in the description. Once I felt ready, I went in. Oh, model inception. I don't know about the Yeah. That should help a little bit. Anyways, I was immediately overwhelmed, so don't worry if you feel that way too. I did record this, so here's some time-lapse clips of me rigging my model. It ended up being just under 100 hours of footage total, but a big chunk of it was just me fumbling around the program, being confused and redoing things I did wrong. So normal models probably take a lot less time than that. During rigging, I had to prioritize which details to rig and which to skip, since I had a time limit. For example, since I didn't have an iPhone, and therefore no Face ID tracking, I did not do any tongue out rigging, and my cheek puff will be toggle only. I wasn't planning to buy VBridger either, so I didn't have to do the VBridger mouth details. See what hardware/software you'd have first before rigging something super complex that you aren't even tracking. I did indeed make it in the 42-day free trial, as I worked on it almost every day after work and on weekends. I got faster and more comfortable with the program the more I worked. I was also watching rigging livestream VODs while I rigged, so I can see how more professional people do it. I didn't have much drawing experience with facial angles, so I had to go back time and time again to fix my angles. So there's no problem if your rigging don't look right the first pass around. You can always go back and fix it later. It's also okay if you forget to separate something or forget a masking layer, because you can add these later as you're rigging. I was especially proud of myself for figuring out how to rig the bell and animating it, since I couldn't find any tutorials specifically for that sort of pulsing motion. See? Anyway. The jacket gave me a headache as well, since it wasn't a basic thing from the tutorials, and I had to redo it a few times, but I think I got it with a minimal breakage. If you need more time, or if life gets in the way, the month-to-month license fee for Live2D Cubism Pro version isn't too bad at about $15 per month with today's exchange rate. The free version has some limitations, but you can also rig a simple model or a chibi model with the free version. Finally, the last step is exporting your hard work from Live2D into Vtube Studio. Well, you should also be exporting your work in progress models as you rig to view in Vtube Studio too, just to see if there's anything wrong. It's a lot easier to visualize, and Vtube Studio is free. Make sure you play around with your parameter settings to best reflect the way you move and how you rigged your model, since it's never perfect straight out of Live2D. So all you have to do is go to the settings and play around with your parameters. There's a bunch of numbers for you to play with. Set your expressions and animation toggles here. And bam! You got yourself a fully functional model for free. If you have any questions, or if you want me to make a video on specific parts of the process, let me know in the comments, and I will try my very best if I also have a decent grasp on the concept. There is a watermark that you can pay to get rid of in Vtube Studio. It's that fairy over there. But you don't have to. I've seen a few small VTubers stream around the watermark. All you have to do is move down, and then move your model up a bit, maybe reposition it a bit. You can stream like this. But updates. I chose to get rid of it. Bye. That's right, I bought the DLC. I lied, clickbaited, got him. Ahem. Anyways, learning all this was a process, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was easy, since learning new things give me great anxiety. But coming out of it on this end with a working model is beyond satisfying and makes all the struggles worth it. So, if you want to see me and this model in action, please hit the subscribe button, as I'll be streaming on this very channel. Games, just chatting, art, maybe karaoke, maybe more? Who knows? I certainly don't. Hope to see you there. And action. For hardware... Oh no! Scooch.